Dear students, today we are going to talk about the anti-hyperlipidemics. So, what are the anti-hyperlipidemics? These drugs actually decrease the blood cholesterol level. Okay, so these are the anti-hyperlipidemics. So, let's look at their indications. We use these drugs in very specific cases where there is an increased risk of atherosclerosis, which is mainly associated with hypercholesterolemia. So we use these drugs to decrease this hypercholesterolemia to a normal cholesterol level, right? And in case of increased risk of cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases. So these drugs are very important where there is increased risk of cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases. What is our treatment goal? Our treatment goal is to decrease the LDL cholesterol level and thereby atheromatous plaque formation. Okay. Now let's look at their classification. Now some of my students tend to overcomplicate the classification of anti-hyperlipidemic drugs. No need to do that, because you learn the classification in a very complex way so that you get puzzled during the exam that what to say and what not to. Just remember a few important drug groups, that will be enough for your exam, right? Suppose statins, the very important group are statins, also called the HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. The HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors or statins. The drugs are atorvastatin, rosuvastatin, simvastatin, etc. Then another important group is fibrates. The fibrates are also very important, and here the drugs are gemfibrozil, fenofibrate, etc. There are bile acid sequestrants like cholestyramine, cholestyramine, nicotinic acid, or you can say niacin. There is another drug named ezetimibe, and there are some other minor groups of drugs which we are not mentioning here. Okay, so if you learn this simple, very simple classification, that will be enough for your exam. Now let's look at the mechanism of action. This is the common mechanism of action of the anti-hyperlipidemic drugs. So you can see that from acetyl-CoA, this is the gut lumen, this is the epithelial cell, and this is the blood vessel, right? So what happens that in the epithelial cell, acetyl-CoA is converted to HMG-CoA, and HMG-CoA is converted into mevalonic acid. Then mevalonic acid is converted into cholesterol. Okay, and cholesterol then goes to synthesize VLDL, right? And which is stimulated by lipoprotein lipase. Lipoprotein lipase is an enzyme. So this enzyme stimulates the production of VLDL. Okay, so now from cholesterol there is the production of bile acid. So bile acid comes into the gut lumen, and from the gut lumen it is reuptaken. Okay, so most of the bile acids are reuptaken, and then you can see that cholesterol is also absorbed from the gut directly. Okay, so now let's look at our drugs. We have talked about the statins or HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor. So HMG-CoA, so statins block this pathway. Here is an enzyme named HMG-CoA reductase. So statins block that enzyme, thereby it blocks this pathway. So HMG-CoA cannot be converted into mevalonic acid. Mevalonic acid ultimately cannot be converted into cholesterol. So that decreases the cholesterol level, right? Synthesis of cholesterol. Next, this bile acid, the bile acid sequestrants like cholestyramine and cholestyramine. Look, the bile acids are recirculating here. Okay, so the sequestrants, the bile acid sequestrants actually block this pathway. So the bile acids come into the gut lumen and then it is excreted. So the bile acid is not recirculated, and therefore there is decreased synthesis uh, of cholesterol by the liver. So there is decreased bile acid. Bile acid cannot be recirculated, and there is decreased production of cholesterol. And let's look at here that from the gut, the cholesterol containing foods you are taking, so that cholesterol is being taken directly into the from the gut, right? So if you give this drug ezetimibe, that blocks this pathway, the absorption of cholesterol from the gut lumen is decreased or inhibited, right? So these are the common mechanism of action of there is another drug. So cholesterol is getting here to synthesis VLDL. So this is inhibited by statins. Also this is inhibited by niacin. Niacin is vitamin B3. So this is also blocking this pathway, right? So this pathway is being blocked by these drugs, statins and niacin. Now let's get into the specific drugs. HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. These are the most important anti-hyperlipidemic drugs. For example, atorvastatin, rosuvastatin and other statins. Their mechanism I have already discussed, that they inhibit the HMG-CoA reductase in enzyme. So by inhibiting that, they decrease the liver cholesterol, they increase the LDL receptor expression. So thereby they wash out LDL from the blood plasma, so thereby decreasing plasma LDL, and they also decrease VLDL synthesis, and thereby they result in decreased triglyceridemia. What are their adverse effects? Most important adverse effect is myalgia. There is muscle pain, okay, myalgia, myopathy. So if you are using this drug, you have to frequently check the creatine kinase level. And sometimes it can lead to a serious condition which is called rhabdomyolysis, where there is a breakdown of muscle, and that can also lead to hepatotoxicity. So you have to check the liver function tests after a few months, okay. If you are using these drugs, then you have to frequently check these markers, creatine kinase and liver function, okay. So these are the side effects. Now what are the drug interaction? If you give gemfibrozil along with this drug, then that can increase the chance of rhabdomyolysis. And some enzyme inhibitors, microsomal cytochrome P450 inhibitors, enhance the toxicity of statins. Suppose you are giving the macrolides like clarithromycin. So if you are giving clarithromycin along with the statins, that will increase the chance of toxicity of statins, that can lead to muscle pain or rhabdomyolysis, etc. Then come to bile acid sequestrants. These are not the first line agents. Suppose cholestyramine and cholesterol. Their mechanism we have already talked about, that they form a complex of bile salts in the gut. Thereby they decrease the enterohepatic recirculation of bile salts. They break the recirculation of bile salts, okay. So thereby increases synthesis of new bile salts by liver and decreases liver cholesterol. They increase the LDL receptor expression, and thereby they decrease blood LDL concentration. What are their side effects? Increased VLDL and triglycerides. Although they decrease LDL, but they increase the chance of VLDL and triglycerides. They cause gastrointestinal disturbance, malabsorption of lipid soluble vitamins. So this is very important. Lipid soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, E and K. So these vitamins are absorbed very slowly, or absorption is disturbed, and they can lead to hyperglycemia as well. Another drug which is nicotinic acid or niacin, vitamin B3, whatever you call it, mechanism is inhibition of VLDL synthesis. We have already talked about decrease plasma VLDL, decrease plasma LDL and increase plasma HDL. This is very important. Then the side effects are flushing, pruritus, burning pain. So you can use aspirin there. Hepatotoxicity, hyperglycemia, etc. So as these adverse effects are very disturbing to some patients, so you may not prefer these drugs in these individuals. Now come to fibrates. Fibrates are also very important. Their mechanism, as we have already discussed about their mechanisms, that they bind to the PPAR alpha and increase expression of lipoprotein lipase. Increase expression of lipoprotein lipase, thereby they result in decreased VLDL and IDL, modest decrease in LDL, and increase in HDL in most patients. In some patients with combined hyperlipidemias can increase LDL. So this is an important thing, right? Now indications, they are used in hypertriglyceridemia. If there is isolated hypertriglyceridemia, then fibrates are very useful in these patients. Let's come to the side effects: gallstones, myositis, etc. Another group is ezetimibe. Their mechanism is very simple. They prevent intestinal absorption of cholesterol, which results in decreased LDL. Okay? They prevent the intestinal absorption. Now the summary of antihyperlipidemic drugs and their side effect: gastrointestinal distress. This is their side effect. So if there is increased cholesterol, that means hypercholesterolemia, you can use cholestyramine, cholestyramine, ezetimibe, or statins. Statins are important here. If there is increased triglycerides, you can use the fibrates. Okay? And if there is increased cholesterol and triglycerides, you can use statins along with ezetimibe, or statins along with niacin, or you can use niacin. Okay, ezetimibe alone is usually not used.